You know, back then in the old days, back then in Africa, before the invaders of the Europeans, the Africans were used to worshiping this idol, worshiping this priest. There's this priest who everybody was scared of, that when he said something, that is what is going to happen. Like we believe that there is this fetish thing, this god or goddess, this idol, that once the priest said something about it, it's going to happen. What are the idols? We've never seen the idol in human. We only see it in tools, in sticks, in the trees, in the forest. Most especially, these kind of things are done in the forest, and they bring it to where the people are living, and they make us worship this kind of thing. And to be honest with you, people were so scared of that. This was before the Europeans invaded Africa. I mean, I read a lot of stories, I read a lot of books about it, and I watched a lot of movies about it. And even it still happen up to today, because there are a lot of African countries, a lot of African people who doesn't believe in Bible and stuff like this. They only believe in fetish and idol, and they make practice with it. There are some kind of activities you can do they do then in the old days, that believe that this kind of thing does exist, and they believe that this kind of thing does work. I remember when I was small, there's this kind of festival they do when back then in my hometown. Most of the people, they play with masquerades, they do these fetish things, and we were so scared of this kind of thing, because you don't want to mix, you don't want to annoy people from that people. You don't want to annoy somebody who is a priest, or you don't want to annoy the son of a priest. Or also, you don't want to be against people who does this kind of thing. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So what I'm trying to say is, people believe in this voodoo then back days, these black magic powers, supernatural powers, something apart from God. I'm talking of now, before the coming of the Europeans in Africa. There were a lot of activities being done which made people believe that, oh, this kind of thing does exist. And there were a lot of practical activities as well. You will see a lot of things happening. If I tell you what I've seen, and if I explain to you guys what I've seen in Africa, in some parts which believe in all these kind of fetish powers or supernatural powers, you will not believe. So that's why I said it is better you go do your research. You travel to Africa, go to this deep down Africa, and you understand what I mean. So what am I trying to say here? Why did I bring this topic? Because it's a very interesting topic. Like I told you, we do fear this kind of people. We do believe, because they said what you fear happens real. Like, what's the meaning of fear? False evidence appearing real. You already have that in your mind, that, oh, there is this thing that is going to happen if I do this kind of thing. Oh, there is this priest, because he is a fetish priest, because he's this, he can say something to me, and that's all. That is final. So why am I bringing this thing, guys? Recently, Adesanya confirmed what a lot of people have been saying, a lot of fighters have been saying against Alex Poatan. Adesanya came out in an interview and said Poatan is using spiritual powers, magic powers, and he connects with his spirit, and that is what is helping him to win fights. And if you look at it again, you look at what's his name, Hiri Prowaska. He also said Alex Poatan is using Shama power, black magic power, voodoo power, and that's why he's winning this fight. And some other UFC fighters has already said that to confirm that, oh, Alex Poatan is using this kind of powers. So, what do I think about that? I think first and foremost, it is what you think, what you believe. Alex Poatan for me, is just a normal fighter. He's a scary dude. But the funny thing is this is where comes the problem. When you are fighting a guy like this guy tries to go home, connect with his spirit, pray. It's like everyone does. You go to your church, you pray. The one goes to his mosque, he prays. Everyone does different things as long as they believe in something. And what he believes is what his heritage, where he came from, the Shama and everything. I mean, I don't think it's the Shama as people say Shama. Shama is just a word in Portuguese, which is like let's go. But where he's from, Poatan, what the meaning of Poatan is like a stone, where he's from, according to what I heard, is that where in Brazil he has this community where they worship this kind of God. They make these incantations, they do the different kind of things, they kind of prepare him for war. And when you see him coming out in the final face off on UFC, you see him painted in this kind of attire, in front of another guy. Imagine you have never seen this kind of thing before, uh, and facing him, I'm looking at him face to face. I could understand what Hiri was saying then, but I honestly would also say, watching the last fight between him and Stylebender, you saw that even Stylebender said he had to connect with his own spirit to be able to fight this guy. Do I believe this kind of thing? I don't think all these things are real. For me, I've seen a lot of things. What you see is what you believe, and what you believe is what you're going to manifest, and what you manifest is what is going to happen. I mean, Alex Pereira believes in his spirit, believe in the things he worships, believe in Poatan, believe in the activities, and he's proud of it, and he brings it. He believes that the God that he serves is going to help him and guide him to win. I don't think it's a supernatural power. I don't think it's a spiritual power. I don't think he's using black magic. Poatan is just a warrior. Military or the soldiers go for war. They do kind of incantations. They do kind of prayers. Because they believe that when they say this, they're going to do it. So why can't you do yours? Why are you kind of blaming somebody who I think is a natural born fighter and blaming him on using black magic or using voodoo or supernatural powers? I just see a man here who prays to you, who is proud of worshiping his gods, his spirit and where he come from. He's part of the culture, he's part of the community, and he's showing it to the world. Without him, nobody knows that this kind of things exist in Brazil. Where people recognize all these kind of things is in Africa. Like Israel said, he has to go back to Africa to connect with his own spirit to come back and face Poatan. I think that is just making it too much. Like I told you in the last video, Hiri Poaska lost that fight because he already thought that Poatan is using black magic. So that thing has already got into the head and it becomes real. And that is why he lost that fight in the second round. That fight was even very easy more than the first round because he has already lost the fight in the beginning of the week by saying that Poatan uses black magic. Every other fighters are saying Poatan using black magic. Pereira using supernatural powers, voodoo to be able to win fight. I don't think it is. It just it's this incantation he has to make to be able to face and go for a war. When you watch any of these war movies, you see some of them putting this black paint in the eye. Some of them, there are different kinds, like his mind is prepared for war. He's a warrior. So if you come out here and say, oh, Poatan is using black magic, I think you're just scared of fighting the guy. Or you're already losing the fight and look for excuse. You won that fight. If you beat Poatan, nobody will come out and say he uses black magic. Remember when Israel beat Adesanya beat Poatan, he didn't come out and say, oh, Poatan is using black magic. He beat him because he was prepared. He said Poatan went to his spirit, to his culture, his community, and prepare spiritually and prepare in his incantation and come forward. He too went to do that. So why can't you do that? If that is what you believe that it happens whenever you fight this guy, why can't you do that? Poatan has already given us one of the most amazing fights. It's not invincible. Poatan can lose. Round 2 Junior looked at him face to face and almost knocked him out. He almost lost against Jan Blaufield. So why are other people coming out and saying that he uses black magic power? Or uses voodoo or uses witchcraft? I don't think he does. I think he's a natural man, born fighter, who just come and prepare for war. Those things he does is his way of preparing for fight. not because he uses supernatural power. That is absolute um, nonsense. Forgive my word, but that's absolute nonsense. I just believe that this guy, whenever he comes prepared mentally, physically, and spiritually. That doesn't mean he uses supernatural powers. Let me know what you think about this video. I also like to know your opinion. If you like the video, if you find it very interesting, give it a like, subscribe, and comment. I'll be watching from here. I'll be watching the comments and I'll be responding to them. Until next time, peace.